Soy paso KOLOHE Juice. Hey, bagay is good, Oh, honey girl. It's good to the last drop, 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 to the last drop.
Oh, this will be edited, right?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to KOLOHE Juice in the channel, where the KOLOHE gang, we talk about life outside the business. Just as an intro, KOLOHE Juice in the channel, the idea was, if, in surfing terms, if our company, KOLOHE Juice, during our events and our business and the day-to-day, if that's us catching this wave and riding this wave, then us in the channel, in surfing, the channel is the side where you can paddle out safely and chill. So this is us getting to know us outside of the business. Yeah. Introduction, I got the boy from 808 State, Mr. Hollywood, Justice Smith, taking over LA. We got Gardy Darboozy.
What's goody? What's goody?
How you say again?
Gardy Darbooz.
Oh, I did it better this time.
That's how you did.
Gardy Darbooz. And we got Mr. Pipeline himself, Jacob Smith, Darasha. And you're young.
You might see him in one of these.
Yeah, you might see him back here. And yours truly.
We sitting right here.
Wait, my name. Dave Dali.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hi, Dolly.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, baby.
So, first off, we should talk about KOLOHE Juice, the brand itself, and the origin.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it straight. Cool. So it was originally founded by the twins here. The original creators of the product.
Not us.
Yeah, not these twins.
If you're gonna tell who it was.
Yeah, right. These guys.
So just to tell us where the idea came from.
Well, pretty much the idea is, it was like bringing our culture, that these are flavors we grew up with, and kind of bringing it, because of COVID, people couldn't travel, so we wanted to.
So this was like 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah, we started 2 years ago. We wanted to bring
December, yeah.
Bring our flavors that we grew up with and showcase it to everyone, like pretty much like a vacation in a bottle style. So, should we?
Yeah. Well, you met up with the homie.
Oh, you wanted like specifics, right?
Yeah. I want to hear the story.
Okay. Full detail here.
Full detail.
Send us on a journey.
Okay, so
We should, they want to envision what created, not just COVID and paradise in a bottle.
Take us there.
So you just
Sit back.
Also, we have a friend. He was visiting us, and he was talking to a friend that we all grew up with, and how he's a bartender now, and that he's been making he has these really good recipes and cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, so Jacob actually was like, oh, why don't we
start a business
and bring it up out here, like, because if it's that good, like, why not? And at the time, our friend didn't, like, he was kind of hesitant, like, because he was
when you work with friends and stuff like that. It's
I don't want to
mixing.
Yeah, and then we didn't even think like of as far as even branding it or nothing too. We're just thinking, let's do a farmer's market thing. Maybe we could go get the recipes, buy it, and let's sell it in farmers markets and just do whatever, extra cash, nothing really to it. So we kind of discussed with him, figured it out more. And then he was like, you know what, like, how about you guys go do it, whatever. So I flew back to Hawaii, met up with our friend who's really good, and then I ended up working with him on getting those recipes. And so we came back to Hawaii, we came back to California, and we pretty much did a tasting. We have a bunch more flavors that we'll be releasing over time, not now, but we kind of chose the best ones based on people's favorites. And we were like, because obviously when you first come out, you want to come out with the bangers. Mm-hmm. So these were the 6 flavors we chose, and we ended up
after having like people come over.
Coming over, doing little taste tests. We would have
give us the most essence of Hawaii.
Blind testings. We had I put them in random solo cups.
Yeah.
with no names, nothing. You couldn't even see it, and then just based on what, couldn't even see it, and then just based on whatever flavors people liked.
So this was a period of.
This was like a month or 2 months, yeah. Just
2
like
months.
it wasn't good, like a focus like it is now.
Kolohe itself, the name wasn't even.
It was
Okay.
like we were letting people try it and pouring it in water bottles. And like Kolohe at the time was water bottles.
Ah.
had no label.
Mason or nothing,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like and we never even thought it was just like okay, like Dave, who came up with the branding and a lot of he's our graphic designer, like partially sales now and like a lot of the business, but he wasn't even living in California at the time. He was in New Mexico, so we kind of
New Mexico. Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. My bad.
Yeah, I was over the border, guys.
I was in Mexico City.
Yeah.
No, so he was like whatever. Like Dave and I actually has done several things or tried to,
different projects,
but
yeah.
never really. It was never took off, or we never really was like, let's get this and let's really do it. So, and Dave was hesitant. Alcohol, like as everyone would be, like we're not alcohol people. We're not like we never were like bartenders or even in this world, but we're entrepreneurs. You know, so we hit up Dave with the idea. And then we were like, could you come up with like some designs or graphics or like, because we love Dave's like family. We've known Dave for all our life. And obviously the best business or like our fun businesses is trying to make money with friends, you know, even though they say it's a tough thing, but you know, nothing's better than being able to be successful and sharing it with your friends.
100%.
Which your day was.
100%, yeah.
We always talked about it. It was like a thing since back the day in the parking lot, like growing and starting something, and let alone using Hawaii itself. And we're like we said, we're blessed that we get to use Hawaii.
So while Dave's coming up with the ideas, we're handling like the logistic part of like, okay, what are we gonna do with this? And then Dave's like sending us things that like it just very like transformed.
It's a process. Creativity is a process.
You know, like popcorning. We're like, oh no.
Yeah.
You know, and we were harsh, I admit, like, because we're like, no, this is not it. You know, like he threw us some things. We're like,
how many different designs did you go through? You think?
I think we did about 2 or 3.
One had a diamond, right? Where it was under the water.
and then sometimes Dave, when he's not passionate about something yet, he would just kind of half-ass it.
Yeah.
Just we're like,
Like,
Dave,
here
what the
are
hell
these
you
sketches. What do you think?
Stop bothering.
This could be, I could have just clip art. It was like clip art, you know.
Yeah.
But then he, you know, we more and more.
After they get my fire revved up and I get
Then
pissed
more and
off.
more he saw the vision of where it was going. So
A few Benjamin later, so like
Money talks, baby.
But
Money
then
talks.
it kind of transformed. Like we kind of thought, like you know, us being more always going above and beyond. We're like, oh, maybe not mason jars. What do we do this? What do we do this? Then, sure enough, I figured out these bottles. Like, oh, let's do it in these bottles. It would be perfect. Let's turn it into this. And then everything we originally had planned about the farmers market kind of started going out the door. Especially when Dave came up with this brand. So he thought of Kolohe Roots originally, and I was like, oh, Roots.
Well, I was thinking Kolohe. The word Kolohe is an important word in Hawaii, and it's represents us, our childhood, as just being kind of mischievous and punk asses and kind of running the streets and but you know, in a very innocent way. We never wanted to cause any harm, but we just definitely wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
And so the word Kolohe, when it came to me, it was like, this makes sense. Like, let's roll with this. So I put it out there as one of the comps, and they liked it. Justin said Kolohe Juice, juice instead.
As like a play on words
Yeah.
kind of style.
Yeah, that's
It's
really
a
clever
drink,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause naughty, I was like naughty juice, you know, like, so it would be like,
Yeah. Naughty juice, so mischievous, naughty juice. And then from there I was like, okay, instant. And then, you know, we came up with the attitude, the face, which is kind of like a snot-nosed kid. And that's how the logo came together,
it's like a big conversation piece, you know. Everyone's like, "Oh, who's the kid? What is the kid?" You know.
and we'll
never
still
know.
leave that to interpretation.
You'll
to
never
you guys,
know.
you know.
Your inner kid. And the kid
Right,
is
so
you.
it can be whatever you want it to be.
So,
That's
yeah.
it.
So that leads us to the product that we have now.
Which let us.
So our flagship flavor right here is the sweet guava margarita. Sweet guava margarita.
So even though it's sweet, it's the word is it says sweet, which
more
kind of like
neutral
scares.
sweet.
It's not neutral. It's
Because
like
guava is not a very sweet fruit. It's like a very soft sweet.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not sweet like sugary, you know. So
Yeah. So that's the sweet guava margarita. That's the flagship.
which is
flavor.
it's a tequila margarita.
And then traveling over here to the Lihing strawberry margarita. So the Lihing is a very unique flavor in the
But
islands.
wait, before you go into that, Lihing has there's a whole word with it, right?
Lihimoe.
Okay, cool.
So when people know the full words, you know, like, oh, they must be from Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know?
Lihimoe.
Or hopefully you watched our podcast.
Yeah.
But
So lihimoe, lihimoe, it was it's called lihing strawberry margarita, but the term lihimoe comes from this powdered spice plum that we used to eat as kids. That's kind of like the Asian Hawaiian version of tahine, we say.
or like it's like called crack seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get some crack rocks. Because once you stop, you just start eating it and you know,
keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
So from there we got the Hawaiian Sunrise, which is a play on the tequila sunrise, and that's just more of the tardy.
The tardy one.
Yeah, the tart. So we got the neutral sweet, pretty sweet, the tart.
But the
like the
Lihi,
sixth
I would say
floor,
is
so-
pretty like it's like sweet.
Yeah.
Like not
None of
it's
them are
sweet and
really
sour,
that that sweet, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
And
got
then we could let's save that because I'm
Yeah,
very.
yeah.
So then we got a coconut mai tai, which is like if you go to Hawaii, you're gonna think mai tai. That's like the drink, and that one is really good cold, and that one would say it's our strongest tasting in alcohol because if you're a mai tai drinker, you like dark. You want to taste the dark rum, so. You know, after all these trials, we've got a lot of experienced Mai Tai drinkers that are like, we want the dark rum taste. Gravitate to that one.
Are they the ones usually buying the bottle at 10 o'clock in the morning?
this is how we identify our demographics.
It's like the door. It's like the set. Like each one has its personality.
Yeah,
you know?
it does,
You know,
yes.
one's sweet
I think
and
that's
sour.
the unique thing about this product as a whole is, you know, people always like niche down. You find out who your specific avatar is, and although, you know, we're finding that our avatar. We'll talk about more marketing later, but our avatar, it comes out to be quite a few different people depending on your taste buds and depending on.
And I just recently told them this, like, I think our demographic is people with good taste.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, if you have good taste, you'll like our stuff.
Yeah, I like that. So moving over, we got the
We said it.
we got the tropical breeze.
Yeah.
So the tropical breeze is definitely one of our more popular ones.
Yeah.
It's like a guava. It's like a pina colada. We compare it to. It's a guava, coconut, pineapple. So it has like all these exotic. You're like, you know, pretty much paradise.
Definitely a paradise
Like
vibe.
you feel like you're the instantly you drink that, you feel like you're at the beach. You know. So.
And last but far from least, we got the spicy lilikoi mule.
Which actually
Yeah.
Jacob's really like a big one on that
the
one.
brainstorm on the spice part. We had the lilikoi mule going at, and then Jacob was like, we need a spicy drink.
That's a really good one.
I know. It's fermented, or the jalapeno is fermented in the vodka.
And
then-
what made you think about that?
Jacob likes his drinks like he likes his women.
Spicy.
I'm not crazy, spicy.
Well, how did I think of it? I mean, also Freddie helped us with that as well. But I mean,
Freddie.
But it's just good to have a spicy in your thing.
in
you
your
know?
repertoire.
There's not much drinks that are truly spicy, and ours has that spicy. You open it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I know, there's always that fine line where it's like, is this too much or is it too little? But everyone.
It's debatable because everybody's taste buds are different.
But I don't think it's too much. I think you would notice a drink when you're like, oh, this claims to be spicy, but it isn't.
If you like spicy, you want spicy. You know,
Yeah.
everyone's like,
It's either gonna zing or not. You
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
better bring the house, the heat. You know.
What
Like-
other drink is like considered spicy? Like a michelada would be the only.
I guess because those ones they have put like kind of like hot sauce.
Yeah,
type of
but I've never
chili.
like this concoction is just it's so good.
And it's
There's
crazy,
nothing like
or
it.
people forget that it's a mule. You know,
Yeah.
people ever thinks it's a spicy margarita,
which was also a twist because you don't get spicy with vodka.
Yeah,
and
that's
a
right.
mule.
So that was like a
a whole
mule.
different thing.
Maybe
So
the
there's like-
Russians will really like this one.
we have a friend who was drinking it the whole time, thinking of calling it spicy margarita. That was my favorite. Blah blah blah. And they were like, it's a mule. He's like, what the fuck? I hate mules. That's like, or at least that's not my first one. And
Yeah.
holy shit, if I had one drink for the rest of my life, I would choose that one. You
Nice.
know,
Nice.
that's my shit.
Yeah.
And there's there's the ginger and like so it gives you that experience with that heat plus the ginger. So it's like
This lady at the event, she was like, "Man, this tastes like a spa."
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
it has like almost herbalist.
Because
but,
you did, yeah,
but-
because of that ginger
but
kick
it's clean
in there.
and like healthy, but yet good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the train of drinks of the flavors that take a tour.
Pretty much like we say, it's a flight to Hawaii, getting a little try of
A few
everything.
of the islands that you're allowed to go to.
That's good.
Let's talk about how Gardy came about on the team.
So Gardy and I have been friends for what?
Like 5, 6 years, yeah.
And Gardy's always brought
Before
like
they became partners.
pretty much like Gardy's always brought like a really good presence, you know, like he already had, he's like Haitian, you know, he has that island, that
soul.
vibe, that soul, like, and he's like a hustler, you know, like.
But we also have like the
Exactly.
same mindset or path, and even also just being like the aloha and the
Friendliness.
Yeah, we are
giving
very-
back,
yeah,
and
very
hospital. Like we
similar
always
guys.
say that it's, you know, it just works.
So yeah, we met at like one of my events a long time ago, and yeah, we stayed really close. And
Was it the whatever it takes, any of those events, or was it?
You came to my New Year's, and then
Okay, yeah.
and then you approached me wanting to try to get something going. And
Yeah.
so pretty much like he was always. He sensed talent and like pretty much so.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
so
yeah,
because
hell
I want to be this guy,
Yeah.
or at least learn from him.
No,
But
yeah.
anyway, so yeah, so we always thought I was always like Gardy would be someone cool to be a part of this too. You know, he had the same mindset. He had everything what we would want to like when we were trying to expand.
Yeah, for sure.
So we actually brought Gardy on to one of our first events. It was like a little event. Let's test him out, see how he does, and then he bartended, and you know, like he really took off with everything. He was just like boom, boom, selling, telling people we're like, whoa,
But your first experience was with the launch party, right? You hadn't have it since or before that, right?
Yeah,
Like, you didn't
I
know
think-
about that we were starting till the launch, right?
Well, I knew like little hints.
little hints, 'cause
Yeah,
we
little
had it in the
stuff.
jug.
Yeah, but you guys were keeping it up.
Oh, I forgot we did
It was
during
still
the
in house.
Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even like the prime product. Yet,
Exactly. So it was still in house. You guys were still trying to work out the concept, but yeah, I remember my first time like trying it, and it blew my mind like away. Like literally, I never tasted anything that was just so right. You go to a liquor store and you try to find something that fits like your taste bud and all your needs. You want to get, you know, that good buzz, but you also want it to taste good while you're doing it. And I've never seen something that's just all in one package in this nice little grenade of a glass bottle. So I was pretty excited to, you know, do anything with you guys because, you know, we hang out outside of this, and it's always been super fun. So
Like never really a bad time, man.
Yeah.
What's good about Gardy, even like throughout he's been very coachable, you know, like very he takes to like, you know, he's not just like
He's never been like, oh, this is not my culture. This is not my.
He did, yeah. He was easily like, oh, you know, I'm a hustler. I believe in a product. Let's get this going. And he's never put his oh, let me make a flavor. I want to do like, you know, let's do one of these. So he really was easy to work with, and you know, and we've seen him grow throughout our journey, and we've, you know.
And that's one thing like I've always seen. I know you made a comment earlier about it is hard sometimes to work and do business with people that you know, but you know, all the best like things that have come out, like the Jackson 5 or you know, Kevin Hart and his team, Rock Nation, like, you know, it's a lot of people that in the beginning they did work together and they were having fun as friends. The thing that kind of, you know, ruins things later down the line is the egos, and that's one thing we're fortunate enough to not have that, and it's always just been
At least right now,
at least
like we
right.
said.
If you guys show up with the Lambo and I don't have mine yet, then of course some egos
This is
gonna
only our
pop
first
out.
podcast.
But we said, like, it's also more than just the drinks, you know, it's built on like our foundation, you know, and if it lines up with all of us, you know.
Our foundation, our cultural foundation, our desire to basically be ambassadors of Aloha and of Hawaii and represent that.
Like more than the drink, and that's just like the anchor to just so happens the drink tastes as well.
Yeah.
It helps us reach more people.
So yeah, pretty much. So Gardy started off his events, and now he's been, or like a little event. Now he's pretty much been. Now he stepped into meetings with us.
Yeah.
He's doing the sales. He
yeah.
gives his, you know,
Bartending, basically.
Bartending.
Basically the front man.
He's gotted us several cool like events and accounts,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're super grateful to have him part of the team. And
I'm glad to be a part of it for sure, guys. Yeah. It's been exciting so far.
it started us as Jacob and I, then to Dave, then Gardy, and now it's like slowly we have a couple other people that you guys will see later on come in, but
and
it's really turning. We're creating this Kolohe Ohana.
pretty cool. People are really attracted to the Aloha and to their own nostalgia too of Hawaii. It's kind of like the uniqueness of the brand, right?
People always relate. Every time they see it, it's already the first thing they talk about is their experience with Hawaii, which is cool. And usually, for the most part, we always say that you rarely have a bad experience. Maybe if it rained or something like that where you had no control. But for the most part, it's always been like that loving, good, great, take me back experience.
And which is cool to have a product like that, because
it's very different than most products I think that are out there, because a product usually is just on its own merit. Our product is great, just on flavor wise. Then you got the brand, which is great, and visually and then meaning wise, it's great. Then you have this whole other layer of culture and personal experience that the consumer or customers have with Hawaii that they're sharing. And then behind all of that is even the backbone of it all, which is just trying to share Aloha and trying to be like whatever that means to us, bringing that to the world, and that's unique.
Because it's like, you sip a White Claw, what does it take you back to? Takes me back to the bathroom because I gotta use it again.
So true.
How do you relate to it, like a college or?
So I think we definitely have something unique here, and it's been proving like that's the one thing about this product is it just kind of started to build up, take off on its own. Like people were like, I want you, like Justin's plugs and everything that we've done in Miami Fashion Week, New York, and Space Jam events, like all the events that we've done, there's been a demand for it, and we just happen to be the caretakers to step up to the plate and say, okay, we got to produce, like let's go and make it happen.
And even like through our events, like you witness like a true joy or so. Like I don't know, obviously because the product tastes well, but also just them bringing the nostalgia to like their trip. It's like
honestly,
So so we had our launch in June, right? Then we slowly started doing events. Like we were like, we reached out, or people reached out to us rather, and then went from one little event. And next thing you know, we're going to New York, and we got for Fashion Week. We got to go to Miami, and then we're like, we kind of
Miami.
so the whole thought of like we said, farmers markets, and then we're like events. People like our stuff.
People are actually liking.
People are liking it. More events, more people reaching out. We're like, whoa, like.
But it was also trials too, or like we did our own testing. Like, will people spend money on it at the bars, things like that. So it was a both thing, because we don't know what we don't know,
Like everybody loves free alcohol,
right?
So they're gonna hit you up and be like, I would love for you to be at our party if you're going to sponsor it.
But then one of the events, actually, they put it at a bar and they actually sold it.
Yeah.
And it was the top seller amongst all these other companies. So we're like,
was it at that point that you knew you should
Well, there was each test, we were like, okay, but those are these drinks here. How would it do when it's against all the other big brands?
It's a little company against a little company. Okay, we stood out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's challenge the bigger competitors. Okay, we stood out again. And we keep standing out and keep feeding our stuff. We're like, oh, you guys got something, We're like, oh, we got something. It was like, was it Miami Swim Week? I thought it was cool when the girls are bringing it out like bottle service.
Special delivery!
Services or like
I never asked or told them to. They just
bringing it to their seats. We're like, holy
Classic.
shit. We're like tapping each other. We're like bringing out our phones. It's just kind of that's what we created, and it's going into all these people's seats. Sometimes we were like really watching their reaction, like, oh damn, she didn't shake it. That's why the tequila's probably sitting at the top.
But that's still pretty cool to see bottle girls just going over with you.
For the first time, it was like cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now we go head to head with any brand.
Honestly,
what challenge?
We're trying to bring the biggest. What can we get? Where can we go?
We'll go head to head with Cutwater.
All about this is a bad.
Call them out right now.
On the rocks.
5th.
You know who you are.
Truly.
Truly's, Cacti.
Yeah. We're the anti-seltzer club.
Cutwater's probably like, I'm living in their head rent free. They just gave me free publicity on their podcast.
We're walking into the industry looking for the biggest dog and we want to take them out. But we're humble. We're starting humble beginnings.
And we're kind of in our own category, as we've been saying. We've been told. So we did our events, and then this year, pretty much, we were like, okay, like we really got something. Let's scale it and actually try to go to get into stores and really put more money in and more effort and time into it. So even though we say it was been like a year, we pretty much like just started in March, I would say, like really getting more serious with it.
And like really keeping track and it actually forming into like more from a hobby-ish to like a true business.
Yeah.
Like,
because I think like the part for me, I think that was the most nerve-wracking, like through the whole process, was the license. Just to get the liquor license like approved was the biggest step, because that at that point we were getting the steam and getting the buildup, but we couldn't do anything bigger until we had gotten that acquired.
It was all
proof of like branding, proof of concept, making sure.
So I think
that was an investment and a leap of faith on our part too. It was like, all right, we're gonna either do it or not do it, because we got the clout, we got the fan base.
Because we always said, I mean, everyone asks us, like, okay, where can I get it? You know, okay, it's like, okay, you're either gonna go or you're gonna just keep doing this, and it's just gonna be like you're just like blue, like Ron says, blue balling people.
Yeah.
You're giving them this fluff, but you're not. You know,
yeah, so it was hard to do all that marketing without, you know, like, where can I buy? And we've learned, like, alcohol is very impulsive. You know, you don't think, though we were selling online, people don't really plan ahead when they buy alcohol. It's like Friday night, let's go to get drunk, you know? You know, you don't think, like, you know, next week I want this Kolohe, you know, like,
next week Saturday I'm gonna want a 6-pack.
You know,
that's not how alcohol works.
So we needed the store, And
it's funny because we always say, like, man, do we always do some stuff like so unorthodox, you know, like people usually create the product and do the marketing. We were like a little like, but it kind of helped us in our way. And everyone, I mean, that's why it's cool, because we always did something different. But
like, we just wanted to make sure it made sense for us money wise, even though it seemed like we did the opposite way. We wanted to.
We were in terms of investing, you know, that amount of from our pockets, that amount of capital for the licensing and the manufacturing, etc.
And in a sense, it was kind of like we were doing like mental pre-orders. Like we were trying to figure out how many people would even want it through the marketing and demand. And then we saw that, and then we're like, all right, boom, come back with the back end of the product.
So that's been interesting. That's a long road now, that come to think about it.
Right, and we've definitely seen a progression, which has been very exciting. Like,
just the growth as a business people. You know, we always say we're not the same people we are that we were even yesterday to today, and just all the people and the situations we were put in throughout, and we didn't know nothing.
Definitely not a salesperson.
But like
now we're doing. Now we're just cold walking in door to door sales and making friends. It's really not even sales. It's really just making buddies.
Relationships at the end of the day.
And it's been pretty cool because there's a lot of fun learning we've gotten. You know, it beats going to school. I say, you know, firsthand experience.
No, honestly, pioneers in your own right, building your own business. I mean, just like any other brand that's out there, you're really creating something that could have a form of legacy, you know?
Even our uncle said, like, this is like, what we've paid is like paying for college tuition in its sense, you know, this journey, like, let's say, hope heaven forbid that fails, but we'll learn and do it again the next time and figure it out what we are. But
we know it's not gonna fail.
So that's the product. Right, and we're in over 28 locations right now. Right, so
it's pretty awesome.
All over LA. We're taking over LA, and then once we fill that cup, we'll expand outward and start to figure out logistics in outer state maybe.
I was just thinking of something funny, like, if you guys, we could make it sexy, we could, like, take off a label a little. Show a little more color.
Oh my god. Have the bottle sweating just a bit, turn the lights down low.
This is how we come up with our ad campaign.
That deep voice.
Let's bring down the lights real quick, and I'll just spray a little bit of sweat.
A little mist on her.
So you'll see that ad on your feed, and you remember.
Or like it just, or like it goes up this way, like the dress is.
Like the Marilyn Monroe.
Oh shoot!
There you go. That's great. That's genius.
Once you pop the plastic, all bets are off. Right now.
Guava starts dripping.
Hilarious.
The cat just.
That's fucking great. That's great.
Oh, shit.
So that's Kolohe Juice, the product. We wanted to introduce that to you first off. There's a lot more behind the scenes. We'll probably talk about a lot of stories we've been through with the marketing and stuff.
A lot of stories we are going to talk about
Yeah,
in future episodes. So definitely stick around for those. We got plenty.
Other than that.